Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with ANet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with ANet. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with ANet.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey guys, welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your girl, Annette Harris, the host of this show. I am also the CEO of Get Caught in a Net Incorporated, your certified positive mental health ambassador, and author of that award-winning bestseller, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. Listen, guys, do not readjust your screens. I know we're here on a different day, a different time, but we're here to bring you another wonderful segment. As we are highlighting Women's History Month, we decided that we wanted to speak to a group of women on tonight that have shared a friendship and a sisterhood for over 50 years. And so we decided we would do it on this evening at 6:30. So I'm going to ask that when you come into this particular segment on tonight, we want to let others know that we are on. They're used to seeing me at 12 noon Central Standard Time on a Wednesday. So we want to remind them. So you can tag individuals into this live feed on Facebook. You can click the share button, the thumbs up, the care button, if you would not mind doing that for me. I always tell you, it costs you nothing to do that. We are live on Facebook, Annette Get Caught in the Net. We are live on YouTube, Get Caught in the Net Incorporated, and also on Instagram at Get Caught in the Net. And so we are going to bring these beautiful women in. I have known them for a long time. Of course, our connection is my own blood sister, but I call each of them my sisters. They're my big sisters. So we're going to feature them on tonight. I'm going to bring them in individually, and you're gonna. I know you're going to enjoy this on tonight. And I see you guys coming in. I do. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you liking and sharing. So let's bring them on in. I see, oh my goodness, beautiful. You will see these beautiful queens coming in on tonight. And I tell you, I am excited about this. I don't know why. I was a little nervous. My goodness, I've been doing this for about 11 years now. But I wanted to bring them in, and I see, okay, we have them all in the house. How are you ladies doing?
Hello.
Hey. Is that what I do? Should I do that? Listen, I probably should have invited Delois in and Maddie. Oh, let me stop. Never mind. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. All right, Gwendolyn, how are you on this evening?
Absolutely phenomenal. I am with my blood sister,
and my sisters. And I'm so excited about this show. I really am.
Good, good. I'm so glad to have you here. And thank you for all your help in getting everything together for this evening. I appreciate you and being that connection. Michelle, let's start up top. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Glad to be here amongst my friends and sisters for life. And just ready to talk amongst my sisters.
All right, all right. Loving that hairdo, loving the hairdo.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Hope, how's it going?
Hi. I'm doing okay.
Good,
How's everyone
good.
else? Good.
Wonderful.
We are great. Gervais, at some point I wanted to change your name, and I don't know why I was doing that. How are you doing on this evening?
I am doing absolutely, what do you say, awesome sauce. I'm doing really good. Glad to be here with my friends / sisters, my friendsters. So
that's
it's
so
awesome.
sweet.
It's really touching my heart.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Next door neighbor, caller. How are you?
I am wonderful. It's so good to see everyone. I went in my photo album and I looked at all of your pictures from back in the day, and I'm just so happy to be here. Everybody's smiling and looking good. I love it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tamara, how are you doing on this evening?
I am fine. You all know that I go by Tammy. Only the ones that know me can call me Tam and Tammy. So it's wonderful to have you all. I mean, wow. It's a great feeling to see all my sisters in the house here. It's a wonderful day to get all of us together. So I'm looking forward to delving in on this 50-year plus. And that's almost kind of telling how old we are, right? But anyway, we won't go there. So,
It's okay. Black don't cry.
It's okay.
yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason why we're highlighting this. Okay. Rosalind, can you talk to us and tell us how you're doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. I'm happy to be here with everyone. And I reconnected with my sisters a couple of years ago after being away for 25 years. But I'm so happy, that we're back together again.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. And Ann, how are you?
I'm great, blessed and
Is it okay that I do Ann or should I do Lolita?
Yes, I know. The picture that shows before is Ann when we were younger. The older version is Lolita. How are you? Nice to see you, ladies.
It is so good to have each of you here, and I'm telling you, it was just I had a thought, and I presented to my sister. I said, you know what? I wanted to bring you guys on because it has been so long since you have connected and established your friendship, sisterhood. And I think that should be highlighted. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you a little secret. I'll just tell off on myself. Many times when you all go out and have your little gatherings and she sends pictures, I get so jealous. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I get jealous. I'm like, oh, they're meeting again, whatever. But in reality, I think it's wonderful. You know what I mean? Because we hear so often how the sisterhood is broken. We hear that throughout life, throughout social media, what have you. But looking at you all and listening to you all and how you have continued to keep up with each other, the sisterhood is not broken. I cannot.
If I may, Bridget, I'm hoping that sometime this year that we invite our baby sisters along to some of our little gatherings because they've been they've also been with us for 50 plus years. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
we're gonna
think that's great. That's a great idea, Hope. And for the audience, Bridget did mention a few, but there are sisters that are the same age as Bridget Annette, and that is actually Janae Strong, Lois McKinnis. I'm forgetting who else. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nisi.
Maddie Ratliff.
Maddie.
Nisi. Maddie Nisi
I
Ratliff.
keep pressing the wrong button to unmute.
So they
okay.
were in the same age, in the same grade, and we were. So I'm sure they always looked up to us. And Bridget was, Annette was telling the truth when she said she's jealous. And that's why I send her the pictures all the time. But I'm grateful.
Wow.
I'm grateful for this sisterhood. And as Rosalind mentioned a little bit earlier, we have reconnected, some of us. I've always loved having friends and friendship. We grew up, we've known each other since grade school, since grammar school. A couple of us since kindergarten, and then a couple of us since first grade. So I'm actually grateful to these wonderful young ladies, and I think us being, depending on who you look at or who you talk to, we are either the last of the baby boomers or the very beginning of Gen X. So however you look at it, we are the ones who had to pivot with respect to technology. So we don't get it a lot of credit. We're of that age group when, Y2K came and those things before it, we were the ones that had to adjust. We were in the middle of the workforce, right? Some things we did not have at our disposal. And I'm saying all that to say, we still kept in contact. There was no internet and no, you know what I mean? When we did. There are two young ladies on here that stood up for me in my wedding, and that was Hope and Tammy. But that's
okay, Gwen, hang on one second. You giving out everything right now.
I'm sorry.
I have look, wait. I'm gonna have to pull rank on her right now.
Hey, believe it or not, when we get together, this is what we do. We just go on and on and on.
Yes.
I get it. I totally understand. But I have questions, okay? So, a lot of your responses will fall under those. But I did want to start, because you had mentioned about when you guys met. So I did kind of want to start there. Do you remember when you met each other? Was it all at the same time? Was it staggered? When did you guys meet?
It was a bit staggered.
A bit staggered.
I met Carla first in kindergarten. So we all grew up in the same school district. We attended the same school district. But for kindergarten, Carla and I were at McKinley School. And then Hope, Gervais, Tammy, Rosalind, they were at Washington School. And then Carla and I joined them in first grade at Washington School. And I believe Michelle came in second grade.
Yes,
right? Okay. Yeah. I think that's right.
Yeah, I was there in kindergarten too.
Ann and I were there in kindergarten. We lived like one house away from each other, so we used to walk to school together and everything.
Yes, we did. Yes, you did. Yes, we did.
Oh. And just to add to that, I actually knew Gwen prior to school because their mom used to do my mother's hair.
That's right.
And their mother told my mom about the house on Marshfield.
Right.
And it's funny that you should say that, because I was just thinking, so me and Tam, our parents knew each other, was pregnant with us together. So me and Tam go back to the,
before
exactly. Yes. So what did you say, Tam?
I said we knew each other in the bellies before.
In the bellies, exactly. So we were in Chicago Heights, and I think Tam moved a year before my parents moved.
Yes.
And so it's so funny too, because where I lived at, my district was actually McKinley, across from 147. But my mom didn't want me crossing the street, the big 147.
Right.
So I actually used Tam address to go to Washington.
Michelle, you revealing to the public that your mom told a lie?
Okay, now that was 50 years ago.
I think they're gonna come back and get you now.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
that is hilarious.
Yeah, so I actually walked over to Tam house. Either way, I would spend a night or whatever the case, because me and my brother and sister, we all went to Washington, and we walked every day. And it's so funny because I had to live about 10, 12 blocks away from Tam. and I would walk. So yeah, so
So
it's
either
been a
way, you had to
long
walk.
time, and that's where I met all the other girls. I think second grade.
Yes.
Second grade.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Hoping
we have some.
I met prior too. My aunt and her were next door neighbors, so we met prior to school too. Before we went to school, yeah.
Ann was my very first friend in life.
Yeah.
Who was?
Yeah.
Who was?
I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
My
and
very
Tam.
first friend.
Yeah.
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 So Ann's mother is a twin. Her twin sister lived next door to my family. That's
When
how we
don't
met.
you do it? Because you about to make me do it, girl.
This is beautiful, though. I love it. I love it. And that you guys remember all of this, you know?
Yes.
Carla, I was
Okay, girl.
Carla, I was today years old when I knew that your mom told my mom about the house.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Where have you been?
Oh wow.
I'm the baby. I'm the baby. I don't know
When
all
mom
this stuff.
would get her hair done, you would be in the cradle. You know, the little what do they call them now? But
little
you would be
carrier?
right
The little
there,
carrier
and
thing?
your mom would be doing my mom's hair, and you would be right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I, you know, as Carla is talking about it, I think back on how we were all blessed with respect to the families that we came from, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure they don't mind me telling, we are 59 years old.
Yeah.
And, you know, some birthdays are coming up, so don't deny it. This is your year.
Not yet.
Let me restart. We were all born in 1965. How's that? Okay,
That's better.
but if you really think about it, we were in Harvey, right? Harvey at that time was predominantly white.
Yeah.
So our families were like the first, you know, on our blocks, right?
Yes.
Which meant that our parents, right, that means that they held jobs and positions and everything to be able to afford the homes, right? And to make life better, you know, for their children. I'm moved by this because as Carla was talking, my mother had her own beauty shop. My mother was a beautician and my father was a master barber. And they both had their own businesses. And I'm talking about brick and mortar. So what Carla is talking about was off of 147th and Oakley. And that's where my mother's beauty shop was initially before she moved it downstairs to our home when we moved to Marshfield. But I'm thinking about that and Carla's mom being a teacher and, you know, Tammy and Michelle's mom being, you know, at the post office. And I'm just like, wow, this is just,
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is
It
beautiful
really is.
because that's when Harvey was just beautiful.
Beautiful place
I
to
mean, we
live.
moved
It
in
was
our
safe.
neighborhood.
We didn't have to lock our doors. We didn't lock our doors.
We
That's
did
right.
not.
True.
I mean, our neighbors, I can clearly remember Scooby-Doo, one of the little they were, you know, white neighbors. We had white neighbors. We didn't lock our doors. We, you know, it was just, Harvey was really the up and coming if you lived in Harvey.
Now,
our
there was immediate.
telephone was shouting out the window, "Hey, Bridget! Hey, Quinn!"
Right.
That was our telephone.
Yeah. Carla and I, our bedrooms were right across from each other. And so we just lived up there and like, Carla. And then she'd come to the window or vice versa. And that's how we chatted. We didn't even have to pick up the phone. But I will say, though, at least this is true for Marshfield, whether it was our block or the block that Tammy was on or the block that Sharon was on, there was immediate white flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got there like that once we moved in, which is fine. I mean, that's usually how it happens. But well, I mean,
that's true. That's what my mom said. As soon as we moved in, we had white neighbors. The following morning, they were gone. They moved out that night. My mom said she remembered waving to them and saying hello. The next morning, the house was empty. They moved out that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I distinctly remember when we first moved on 153rd in Marshfield. So that's why I went to McKinley for kindergarten. So we moved when I was 6. And I remember someone broke into our neighbor across the street's home. It used to be the Dyson's house, but it was white people that lived there.
Right.
And their vehicle got broken into. And I remember very early in the morning, somebody pounding on our door. Now, there were only 2 Black people on the block at that time. We were living next door to a Harvey police detective, Ray Cobb. He was the first one. We were the second Black. And they were banging on the door. So my mom opened the door and said, "Can I help you?" And it was the man across the street. He goes, my car was broken into. Why did you guys do it? It was an automatic. Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was very sad, but that's one thing that I remember because I was standing behind my mom when she answered the door. And so my mom had to go and knock on Mr. Cobb's door because she didn't know, what this white man was going to do. And Mr. Cobb had to tell, him, leave her alone. They just moved here. They're good people. They're not, but that was the sentiment.
Wow. What we had to deal with. Wow. That's some interesting stuff. And it makes you think, and I'm sure it brings back a whole lot of memories. Yeah. But I do want to ask you, what were your initial thoughts of each other though? Now I know some said they knew each other from the womb, but
so for me,
what were your initial thoughts, Gervais?
So for me, okay, so we actually lived on closer to 147th, and I think it was 147th or 148th in Marshfield. So, but my grandparents lived on Honorary on the corner. The White House on the corner was where my grandparents went. So that's how we ended up going to Washington, because we used my grandmother's address. Then what I would always go, me and my sister would leave home. We would go pick up Carla. Wait, I think it was like Lonnie Hunter. I would get first because we walked a long way.
Yes.
No buses, we walked in the rain, sleet, snow, everything. And we would go and pick each other up. So I was further down. Then we'd go pick up Carla. Then we'd get Gwen. And we all just walked to school. Walked to school together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was safe.
So
it was okay for children to walk then, It was a safe environment.
Exactly. And I think that would piggyback on what you said, Annette, what was our first thought when we met each other? Back then, I don't know if we had any negative thoughts. We were just kids and we just, coming to school. And I think the majority of us were in the same class, the same teacher. If I'm not mistaken, it was only probably two teachers for second grade at Washington. I'm not if it was 2 or 3.
I think it might have been 3. I know I had Miss Samuel.
Yeah, but for the most part,
I did too.
Most of us was in the same class, and so we were just friends. We were just kids going to school, having a good time. I think we were very. I'll go ahead and say it. We were smart kids. And
I think at some point we realized we were following each other. And so, hey,
Yes.
Realized we were part of something special.
You know how they say the bullying and all that? I really can't recall too many bullies that we had back then.
Wow.
I think
we defended each other, though. That's another. Yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later because I got some stories to share.
And then we all participated in cheerleading at one point.
Yes.
Don't
we were all
forget
cheerleaders.
Everybody was a cheerleader?
I wasn't.
Look at Hope. Look, I was about to ask you, Rosalind. Rosalind said I wasn't.
I did something like that in
Hope, were you a
7th grade.
cheerleader?
She was on tech squad or something in 7th grade. And I didn't like it because I was one of the heavier ones and I was always on the bottom of the pyramid. And listen, me and Martha Parks, maybe it was 8th grade. A king, that's what it was. 8th grade. Cool. And Martha and I were always on the bottom of the pyramid. And we would always say to ourselves, once the last person got on the top of the pyramid, we were going to lean in.
Wow.
We don't know, and our knees just laughing.
Wow.
That is hilarious.
What's hilarious is I have one of the a few of the cheerleading outfits that we had.
Yes.
And they were really, really homemade looking.
They were homemade.
They were homemade. You're right.
They were. Yeah, they were.
Wow.
Listen, let me recognize, and I do see you guys coming on. I appreciate you all so much over here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let me just recognize a few people. I see Tiffany Hughes-Jones is on. She did mention, let me show her comment. She did say hello, everyone. Little sister there.
Hey, Tim.
And she says this is a beautiful story of friendships.
Hey,
totally
Tim.
agree.
Hey.
And Annette, I see Dale Richardson, which is Michelle's sister. She's online too.
Yes. She said hello, everyone. Thank you.
That's our
Thank
big
you for
sister.
joining us. That's the big sister. Okay. And then Tiffany did say it's amazing that I even had the same teachers they had. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Tiff, as she was rattling them off. Miss Sammy's on it. We had the same teachers.
I know why you are amazed, Annette, because you're older than Tiffany. So yeah, you would have had the same teachers immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
Wait,
Tiffany
when you see
is
this
10
up here,
years
Gwen, that
younger.
means for you to be quiet. I'm sorry, what was that?
Tiffany is 10 years younger than us. I'm telling her age too. But yeah, she's 10 years younger than us. So, and those teachers are still around. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
that
that
they were
is
still
amazing.
around.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't realize she was that there was that much difference in age.
I remember
with
when
us,
she was
actually.
born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michelle has a brother that is, his name is
Jermaine.
Jermaine. He was 10
Jermaine.
years.
Yep.
I think my mom and her mom were in competition sometimes.
Exactly. And of course, you know, I had
That is too funny.
my older sister. Well, I have Dale as my oldest sister, but Carolyn, in which we were 10 years apart. So she was at Washington when we were at Washington too.
Yeah.
So so she had some of
She's
the
2
same-
years. I mean, she's 1 or 2 years.
She's
older
1
than us.
year.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah, she's 1 year.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Janice Pritchard, thank you for coming in. She says, greetings, liked and shared. Thank you so much. Again, when you guys come into the Facebook, I encourage you to share this live feed. You can tag individuals in. And when you do the emoticons, the heart, the thumbs up, and the care button, you're pushing this live feed out so that everyone will know we're on live. And I see you guys over here on Instagram. Just want to recognize you. I think Calvin Bridges. Thank you. One of my favorite singers here.
That's my favorite male gospel singer.
Diana Morris, thank you for joining. She said, it ain't like that now. You better keep your doors locked. You're right. Which is why they mentioned it. That's right. Grace Styles, Boutique, thanks for joining. Tiffany Circle, greetings and salutations. Is that Mark? Hey, Mark, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. And other individuals. And if you're on and I don't recognize your name, it's just because maybe you haven't said anything. I think the way that Facebook is set up, sometimes we're not able to see unless you say hi or something. But if you guys have any comments or questions for my guests on tonight, you're more than welcome to throw it into the comment section. You can go ahead and join in on with us on tonight as we're talking to these beautiful young women. I will call them that because they are. And again, we're recognizing Women's History Month. And so with that in mind, we are looking at this. Is it 52 years? Is it roughly, well, we'll just say over 50-year friendship. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see Lois. Thanks for finally saying something, Lois. She says, hi, ladies from Hope's little sister. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. You know, I like to say little. Well, no, I didn't used to like for them to call me baby until I got older. Now I don't mind them calling me baby sister. So don't ask me what that means. I have no clue. Andre Strong, hey, he says, hey, everybody.
That's my grandson. One of my
Andre.
Hi, Andre.
Hi, baby.
Thanks for coming in, Andre. We appreciate you.
Oh,
I think he was
nice.
sharing at the other day as well.
Yes, he
And
was.
hey, Apostle Dion, thanks for coming in. And I appreciate you liking and sharing. We appreciate you. Kyla Davis says, I love sisterhood. Yes, I do too. So let's hop on in here and do some more talking about this because sisterhood is important. I did mention earlier about talking about the broken sisterhood. or that there is much talk about it. I don't necessarily agree with it, especially when I see friendships like what you have. Do you guys think that sisterhood is important? What is sisterhood to you?
Ooh.
Anybody can answer.
Sisterhood to me is a special bond. Now, while we met in school, it really was the kindred spirit, that special bond that kept us, right, in, connected with each other, in contact with each other, even when different ones were away. Like Carla lived in Texas for a while. Rosalind lived on the East Coast for a long time. And so, but we were able to, stay connected somehow. And if you really think about it, whether one person or two people was the glue, the fact that the other individuals welcomed, that continued connection actually says a whole lot. And one thing I will say about these young ladies, even through the years, especially now, though, now that we're older and wiser, I can share anything with them, right? Individually, collectively, or I could share individually and say, please don't say anything to anybody. And they won't, right?
And I would like to touch on that also. I also think it is unconditional love. Yes. Like, you don't have to tell me what it is. Just know that I'm here. When you're ready to talk about it, I'm here. I think that's also a very important part of that special bond.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, me, it's like good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know that they are always there.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it, Javez, because I feel as though the sisterhood is important and being connected at such a young age. And then, life is lifing. So you go through ups and downs, and you might not connect with your sisters. It might be a great time. Time might cause you not to be able to connect. But then when you do come back and connect, it's like you never was disconnected. So when you have something like that, that you're not judged, or you're not, oh, where have they been? Or I haven't spoken with them. And I mean, that's real sisterhood. That's a connection that no one can actually break, because I know myself, I know that there's been times in my life that I have been a disconnect. But I come back and these girls have never judged. They've never, it's just like I've always been there, And so I think as we get older, we realize, or either I do realize, that how much sisterhood means and how much you need it. Because you can meet people along the way. You meet people along the way, but they're not the ones that knew you from
you had history with.
They don't have that same history. So when you can come back and just say, yeah, look, I'm here. And there's nothing said about it, then that's sisterhood. That's truly a person who really loves you unconditionally.
And I think part of that too, honestly speaking, is because our upbringing and background is similar. So then we know each other's true selves, right? Hope can say to me, I knew how you grew up. I knew how your mom was. I know, so we know each other because, as adults, we're formed, of course, through our journeys and through our experiences. And I think having that understanding is crucial. Now, as adults, at least I can speak for myself. I don't think I've ever had an argument with any of these ladies, as an experienced adult. And that doesn't mean we agree on everything, because sometimes we don't agree. Right? But we respect each other enough, and we respect the sisterhood enough, to be able to talk things through, or just say, okay, I'm just going to hang back for a while, just like Michelle said, right? But then knowing you come back to that sisterhood and everything is okay, right? No hard feelings, no, and I think that's key. I've owned my own business for a little while, but I've been in human resources management for the last 36 years. And I've learned so much about sisters, right? especially sisters in high places. And I'm sure all of them can attest to it. I work on myself daily, still being in the workforce, because I have had experience with 3 sisters in my, more than 30-year career that treated me like crap. So to me, yes, the sisterhood is important because I want to be that example, because I know how I was hurt. I know how I was disrespected by a sister. So that's so important for us to have this and be an example, even in the workforce. Now, some of us are retired, but I just think it's important. And I love these girls. I do. I really do.
I just want to, I want to jump in and say something, with the fact that we grew up together, we can really be our own authentic persons of, we don't have to put on any airs, or we can be ourselves. We can let our hair down. We can look ugly when we want to, and nobody's going to say anything. It's just like, you feel comfortable. You can really let your hair down. And we've had our times where we get together and we act silly amongst ourselves. We do our old dances that we did back in the day. And it's just us, and nobody is judging anyone. We just can be ourselves. We can act, because each one of us have our own unique, I say, personality. All of us do. And that personality of when we were growing up still remains, I think, today. Each one of us has a unique character about each one of us. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that sisterhood is just, it will always be that way. We're authentic with one another, and we can always just be who we are. To the world, we may be somebody else, but amongst our little group, we are the little ones that we grew up with. Yeah. And I love that. And I love my sisters, and I always will.
Love you too. And I just want to just touch on that, the sisterhood. I've heard it so many times that if you have a friendship that lasts 50 years, you don't see that often anymore. No. It's just not, it just doesn't happen anymore. I don't understand if it's life that happens with individuals, but to have a 50-year friendship, that is something that is just totally, it's not normal. It really isn't, because young ladies nowadays, and I said gentlemen too, they don't have it. They just don't have it. And I don't know if it's not something that we try so hard to do. It just comes naturally. It's just natural. And I think that's what the problem is. I think that, nowadays people try too hard, and we just didn't have to try hard. We didn't have to try hard when we met each other. It just came naturally, So I think a lot of people appreciate a friendship that can last 50 plus years. Yeah, they really do.
Absolutely.
It does sound like to me that you all understand how you really are an anomaly, just like you said, it's not something that happens, all the time, all these years, with the same person. But you brought up something earlier, Michelle, when you mentioned about, how you don't necessarily have to talk to an individual all the time. You may sometimes take a break. Rosalind, you mentioned that you reconnected within the past few years because you had been away. Now, can you tell me, Roz, a little bit about that? Was that easy for you? I know they mentioned about, you coming along, you meeting each other, and you didn't necessarily have to work at it. Was that true with you when you reconnected?
Listen, it was beautiful. I was at my brother's, and Michelle just so happened to come by with her friend, and she saw that I was there, and she called and texted, the other ladies, and they came. They came to my brother's house like within minutes. You know what I mean? It was just so beautiful, that happened. I mean, it seemed like they dropped whatever they were doing to come, because Michelle was like, Roz is here. And they came. And I just felt so grateful, that they did that. It meant a lot. It really did. I didn't say it to you that day, ladies, but it meant a lot for you to do that. It meant a lot.
Yeah, I can say to myself that I was, I wasn't connected with you guys for a while too. And so my mom, she was moving to Texas. This is how I got reconnected. She was moving to Texas and she was selling her townhouse. So she sold it and the owner came over. And when she opened the door and I saw the owner, it was Michelle. We both screamed. We were like, ah!
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And that's how we started reconnecting is through that. I hadn't seen these guys in a long time and everything. And it was just, it was amazing.
It was amazing. And then that's a beautiful story.
You all graduated from Thornton. I actually graduated. Carla and I in grade school, and then she moved away, and I was like, "Oh, Carla's gone." And then we ended up moving. She moved to University Park. And then we ended up moving to Park Forest. We went to Creek Monique. When I saw Carla, I was like,
wow.
Like, man, small world. And that's how and then each time, and then I ended up moving to Texas. So when I travel back home, each time that I travel back home, I try to let everybody know, hey, let's get together, do this. And this is always going to happen anytime I come to Chicago. We was planning a trip for the girls to come here, but they're coming soon.
Yes, we'll make it.
Lois, are you still on here? We might have to make a trip there too. No, listen, look, I always try to throw myself in there. I see some others have joined us. Brandy, thanks for coming in. She says, blessings, lady. Oh, and Tony Fitton say, hey, y'all.
Hey, Tony.
We'll talk about
Vera
Tony
is on
later.
here too.
Right. Okay. Thanks for pronouncing her name because I hate mispronouncing people's names. From Instagram, Tiffany Circle said the power of women gathering is immeasurable. And I agree with this statement. I wanted to ask you, Carla, what do you think about that? The power of women gathering. Do you agree with that? What are your thoughts?
I do. And when I first moved back from Texas, I think I was expecting, and we gathered at my baby shower. And I appreciate that. Then after that, we ran into Tammy and Hope, and we all met at Hamada.
Oh my God! Yeah,
that's right. I was in Tinley, right? House.
Yeah.
And then we started just meeting, like for breakfast. And Sharon was with us, and she would be our photographer and take pictures right there in the restaurant and print them out for everybody. So yes, it's immeasurable. I love getting together with my sisters. I was the only child. So you guys were truly my sister. I never wanted you to go home. Right. If I had popsicles, you all had popsicles. So, yes, true sisterhood.
Beautiful.
Carla
was the one that introduced me to Miracle Whip. we just ate regular mayonnaise until we went over Carla's house. I was like, oh, what's that?
Maybe that's what it was. All I knew was that the food over at the Brown's house was good. That's all I knew. It was just because I just wasn't at home. I don't know.
Right.
Let's see.
Let me say this, Tammy. Do you remember when we used to come over and stop by your house? If we wanted to do something like play outside or whatever after school, we first went to Tammy's house because Tammy had to do her chores. So we could go. So we'd be standing in the living room and we didn't understand what Tammy was cleaning because the house was thick and thin.
Always clean.
Always part of the chores my sister that I had to bring along.
Even before Tiffany got here.
Okay.
We were like, what is she sweeping? What is she? I mean, because it was like, the house is clean.
Oh wow, Gwen, you have a memory. I don't even remember that. But
Sure did.
hey, you know, my mom and dad had a list. It's like, you know, you do this, you do this, you do that, and then you can go out and play. So
Yes.
regardless if it was dirty or not, I needed to do those chores at
And
least.
we waited on
in
her
my
too.
mind.
We waited until she finished.
That is funny.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Tiff says here, you don't see friendships like this. My friends and I are going on 40 years. When I say that people can't believe it, you know what? Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think the longest one I've had with maybe like 25 years or something like that. So you guys have doubled some of our friendships. Dolores says, I'm always tagging along with Hope.
See, Bridget, you just got to do it. You just got to get in there and do it.
That's okay. And you know what, Dolores, I kind of jump in on Tiffany's friends sometimes. I'll just say, well, you all are going to this restaurant. I'm coming. So I just do it too. So
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the reason why I haven't been able to tag along with you all. Because Gwen don't tell me until after it's over.
Oh, she doesn't want you to come, huh?
Yeah, you think you hit that on the head. Yes.
We call her Brad for short for a reason.
And Tiff told me she loves tagging along. I mean, I'm trying to find out where do I fit in here? And then she says, she did agree with you, Tam. She said, you do tag along.
yeah,
So
I think people thought that, back in the day, she was my baby, but she was my little sister.
Yeah, I did think that back in the day.
Did you?
But,
oh my goodness.
It's okay. But let me tell you the flip side of that. I just told you all, Gwen don't tell me until you guys have like already gone out. But you know what? She will come and crash my friends.
You got that
event.
right.
So you just have to come in that. You just have to come.
Listen. I'm gonna tell all my friends that's watching. Don't y'all tell Gwen nothing else, okay? I'm just kidding. I love my sister. I do. All right. But you know what? I love this because all I've been hearing tonight is your love and care and concern for one another, and how it started. That's why I asked you about the background, how you guys met, and how it's continuing on. That is not something that we see all the time. But let me ask you, many of you have mentioned about how life has been lifing, and so as you have been going through life, I think Gwen mentioned something about a few of them did a few of them stand up for you in your wedding?
Yes.
Gwen? Okay. Yes. Let's talk about some of these life changes that you guys have experienced and how you guys have been there for each other, whether it is, getting married or having children or unfortunately losing loved ones. Let's talk about some of the life events that have happened that you called on your sisters about, or they were there for you.
Well, I can say Tamara and I have had some shared a lot together in terms of, schooling. We went to grade school, middle school, high school, and we even graduated from college together.
Yeah.
We were pregnant at the same time.
Yes.
I had my oldest son and with her daughter.
Yeah.
We worked at the same place, two organizations. So
everywhere
we've been together.
I went.
So we've been trailing each other for a long time.
For a long time. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Hope. We have been together. I think I spent more time with Hope because I was at work. How it is. You're at work more than you're at home. So me and Hope been sisters at work for the longest. I mean, we shared 30-some years together at one place. So Hope is now retired, and I'm right behind her at some point. So yeah, we've been together for a long time, for sure.
Oh, and I also stood up in her wedding. So
yeah, oh yeah, that is true.
So
and Michelle too.
Tamara,
yeah.
And
I did too, Tammy. I stood up at your wedding.
And you were there too. Oh my gosh. You know, look, my mind is getting.
Hey, wait a minute. Where was I?
Okay, Texas.
I wasn't in anyone's wedding.
And Hope and Tammy was in mine. Hope and Tammy was in
Ann was the first one that got married out of all of us.
Yeah.
She was the very first one.
Right.
And how old were we when you got married?
I was 18. I came out of high school.
Right.
Went to college a couple of months and came out and
the coldest day of the year, Christmas Eve that year.
Yes, it was.
And guess what? The record still hasn't broken.
Really?
Yeah. 5 degrees below zero. Yes.
Wow.
December 24th, 1983.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
So I do want to say though that
Go ahead.
Tammy and Hope stood up for me in 1990 at my wedding, right? And they both had just given birth.
Oh wow, that was amazing.
That was at Gwen's wedding.
Yep.
I think I was at your wedding though.
Yeah, you
So
were there.
what month was that?
That was September 15th, 1990.
Okay. So
Tammy had Tara and
yes.
Hope had her first.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, that was something. I mean, that was some commitment. That's true friendship.
Yeah,
that is true friendship. Tiffany Circle over on Instagram says, unfortunately, our young girls are fed false narratives that women must be enemies of one another. Oh my goodness,
that's so true.
That is so true.
My daughter is 32. She'll be 32, and we're always talking about friendships. And I talk about friendships not just with my daughter, but with my son too, and true friendships. And she always would tell me, Mom, friends are just not like the friends you have. They're just not. They're not true. They're not, Yeah. And I just find that they're so hard to believe that friendship is not like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Someone who, and as I was saying, Annette, it doesn't matter if I disappear. Guess what? If someone has a crisis or whatever,
We're there.
I'm showing up.
Yes.
I'm showing up. And I'm not even gonna look to you to say, where you been? It's not, because a true friend is a friend that's gonna be there regardless of what's going on in your life, especially when someone actually is going through something. And I say that to say that Sharon, who's deceased, and we all grew up with Sharon, and I think that as life was lifing, I think that Hope and Ann kind of more so, and Sharon kind of hung out the most, as life was lifing.
Ride or die.
But it was so, when we realized that she was on her dying bed and we got that call, guess what?
We came.
He was in a cot and we was there.
Yes.
We were there.
Before she left us, we were there.
Before she left us, we were there in the room with her, regardless of
what, Sharon, look at there. Oh my goodness.
Regardless of what any of us had been going through or had not been in connecting with each other.
Yep.
We were there because no matter what, we know that she was a true friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just an example of, just true friendship. And I'm so blessed to have each and one of you girls in my life and have you still here with me regardless of. And I know that I can pick up the phone and I can call any of you guys at any time and know that you'll be there for me.
That's right.
You just don't get that today.
That's right.
No, we don't. Ooh, thanks for touching on that.
I just feel like after Sharon passed, we're just like decided to hold on to each other for dear life, and we try to spend as much time as we can and as often as we can with each other. If we don't see each other, call and check in with each other. So her passing definitely was
brought us even closer.
Brought us even closer together. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And you know what? I also want to say we were never cliquish, and this kind of speaks to when Sharon walked into our lives. We were in grammar school, and as Gervais mentioned a little bit earlier, Carla moved away after 5th or 6th grade, right? Mm-hmm. And we were missing a musketeer, right? We missed her so much, but God brought us Sharon, because then Sharon moved down the street from us, a couple blocks down on Marshfield, and just joined us, joined our little group, and we welcomed her in with open arms. And so, because Carla didn't know Sharon at first, right?
She came when we were in 5th grade.
Okay, so you were still there.
We were in 5th grade.
Okay, gotcha. But not knowing though that Carla would eventually move away. I mean, we still had that, and I love that. I loved Sharon. Sharon was crazy. She was funny. I tried to hook Sharon up a couple times with some guys, but she was like, nah. But
Sharon was hilarious.
She was so much fun. She really was. Yeah. I missed her. I really did.
Troy Webster. Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy.
Yeah.
He's on. He said, look at my girl Sharon, missing her for real. Yes.
Wow.
Such a beautiful person. Such a beautiful person. But thank you for bringing her up, Michelle, because I did want to make sure that, you all talked about her, because I know she was a part of this group. And I'm glad you said those words, Gwen, group as opposed to a clique, because I've never seen your friendship and sisterhood as a clique. I've never looked at it that way. Because there is a difference. There is a difference, and especially what we see nowadays. And I guess, I don't know, when I think of the word clique, and I don't think of it as genuine as a friendship. That's just, that's what my thoughts on it.
Anyway, we were never a clique because we did not welcome people. We were open.
Right.
We defended other people and defended each other. I remember being at McKinley Interim in 7th grade, and we won't even get into how that happened, but we were all there. I think at that point, though, Gervais and Carla had left. But I remember Orlandis Clark had asked me to go with him, right? And
where you want you to go? Go where?
I'm just kidding. He wanted me to be his girlfriend. We talked on the phone just times, right? And this was just maybe over a couple months. So then we were on the playground outside. I'll never forget. McKinley Interim, and Wesley Carson ran up to me. He goes, Gwen, Orlandis told me he want to quit you. And I was like, and Michelle was like, get your ugly self on over here, Wesley Carson. You leave her alone. I mean, she took up for me. I mean, he was the messenger, but that's how little boys did then. They can come up and tell you themselves. So Michelle's here, Wesley Carson, get out of here. Jill can't knock him no how.
And that's so funny because I guess I don't remember, but Gwen always reminds me of I was always taking up with somebody, or either I was the fighter, and I just don't remember.
Michelle, you were the fighter. Yeah, that's true.
Michelle, I'm the youngest in this group. I remember you as the fighter.
So Bridget, I ran into a young lady a few years ago, and she was like, "Oh, you were part of that girl group. You guys were so cool. You used to dress so nice. Oh, I used to just love watching you all. You all were just so cool. But we weren't cliquish. We were just cool. We just
Exactly. I love that. I thank you for saying that. I love that. Somebody put over here on Instagram, they said this is important, these friend circles such as yours and forums like this, because it could be an example. Just like they also mentioned about the young women and how they're looking, they don't really have these friendships, and they think that they need to be fake, to be a friend, or they really can't find good friends. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm so glad you mentioned that. There were some more comments on here. Let me see. I think Tony said he was driving. Where was that comment at? Tony Finn said I was driving and almost gave up trying to find y'all. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm glad you're on. You're still on. Let's see. Darcy is here. Thank you so much for joining us. And she says, Covenant Tribal Sisters. All right now. And she says she has a covenant sister of 50 years and another one of 40 years. All right. This is important. This is important. I'm telling you. I'm going out here. I'm going to scroll down to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Terrence Smith is here and says, hello, ladies.
Hey.
Hello, Terrence.
And Tony, what else did Tony say? Everybody remembers Michelle as a fight.
Well, I just was not going to let anybody mess with my sisters. That's right.
That's true.
I was ready to get them.
I love it. Look, I love that. I love that mentality.
And then I got another story really quick. We were in 4th grade and we were in Miss Tuck's class for some reason. I think that was 4th grade. And Rosalind had come to school, and Rosalind had this pretty thick, long hair. And she came to school one day and she had gum stuck in her hair. And so I was like, Rosalind, you got gum. And I told Miss Tuck, she's got gum in her hair. And she was like, oh my God, let me call her mom. Let me call her mom. And I couldn't understand why she just couldn't cut the gum out of her hair. Right. But she needed Rosalind's mother's permission. And you think about little things like that. She was like, okay, let me call her mom. And she came back. She goes, okay, I'm going to try some ice first. And if I can't do that, I'm going to cut it out. She gave me permission. And then she was like, I'm just thinking about it. She could have choked on this gum.
Once again, you remember something I don't.
Listen, with that in mind, let's talk about personalities, everybody's personalities. Okay, so who is the most talkative one?
Gwen. If I ever need a guest speaker, Gwen, you're the person.
Yeah.
Okay, she is cracking up now. She ain't saying nothing, but I can see that. Okay, who's the most sensitive?
The word expressive, not talking.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's a good one.
She's our singer. She's our presenter.
Yeah.
She's our commentator.
Yes.
Okay, who's the most sensitive?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm a little sensitive too.
Who's the most sensitive?
Carla.
I am.
Carla.
Oh.
I just don't see me cry.
Okay.
Carla?
Y'all agree with
You
that?
guys remember that time somebody was going to beat me up after school?
Yeah.
So who's the most sensitive?
Who's going to beat you up?
Oh boy.
I don't want to say names.
Okay.
No one in this group. No one in this group. You guys stood up for me. Michelle, I think you were there front and center.
Was that Louise?
Yeah.
Louise wanted to
Yes, Gwen.
Oh, it was Louise?
Yes, Gwen. That's who it was.
Louise, she stole my
First name only.
She watching. You owe me my cheerleading socks, you thief.
Yes.
Louise was bad.
Somebody did go in some cheerleading socks. Okay, Terrence said it was Carla. Yeah, he agreed.
Wait, is that Nike?
Oh my goodness. I didn't How are you, Terrence? It didn't click. It did not click. Okay. I appreciate you for being on. Thanks for coming on. So no wonder he said, yeah. All right. So we got the most sensitive, the most talkative. Let's see. Ann, where do you fall? Lolita Ann? Which one are you?
I'm rational.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Ann is also unbothered.
Yes.
That's definitely her personality. She's like,
Okay.
Whatever.
This is
All
true.
right. Tammy, where do you fall? You're the most what?
Oh my goodness. How would I describe myself?
The social butterfly. Party at Tammy's.
Diplomatic.
Yeah, that might be true.
Diplomatic.
Yeah, I'm the social butterfly, I guess.
Look, go ahead and answer for all of y'all. Y'all had to peg that she's the one that talks the most. Okay. Hope, where do you fall? You want to think about it?
I don't know. I think I'm
the caretaker.
I'm the one, I'm sociable, but what you say?
I said, Hope is the caretaker. If someone's not feeling up to it, you're going to go check on them.
That's true.
That's true.
And you're going to talk them off the ledge.
If you go to Hope, right, and express a concern, and it doesn't have to be about anybody in this group, but about somebody else, Hope will be the reasoner. Well, Gwen, maybe that person, so. I mean, so she's like unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
She's down the middle, but she will talk you into reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
When Hope was trying to tell us about Sharon, she was very careful when she was telling us. She was very careful because she didn't want Sharon to feel, like, hey, I'm telling our friends because, you're not up to doing it. So I really appreciate you bringing it that way to us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. Who did I not get? Who did I not get? Javez and Roz?
Yeah. I'm more of caring and giving.
Yes,
I'm more of caring and giving.
When we all met, Javez gave us all Bath and Body Works. All of us.
Yeah.
And she fed us at her house, and she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
she did. And then just talked.
That's because we were supposed to meet when I went to Chicago. We were supposed to meet, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room, and I felt so bad. I really felt bad, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do something. So I asked my son. I stayed at my son. I said, do you mind if I invite my girls over here? And he was like, yeah. And I said, and I'm a cook too. So he's like, oh yeah, you go ahead. You can do it. So yes, they came over that weekend, and yes, I cooked, and we just talk, laugh, talk all night.
All night.
Yes,
all
we
night.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hope, look, the Lord says you take care of everybody. You're the heart of the family, of your family.
That is so sweet.
Oh wow, nice.
So really sweet. Now go get her a gift, Hope. All right. All right, so let's see here. Oh,
Wait, Rosalind.
I said I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
Sensitive. So if I had a miss getting you to say something, would you have been sensitive?
If you had a what?
If I had skipped over you and not allowed you to talk, would you have been sensitive?
Oh no, I would have let you go.
I'm just kidding. No, but no, that's good. Okay. So you guys, at least, and I asked that, and many of you answered for others, but that again lets me know how you know each other. You know what I mean? How well
I didn't
you know
ask.
each other.
You skipped me.
Oh, did I? Come on.
We already identified you as the
no fighting, Michelle. No fighting.
That's because I care about people that's close to me. And if it's any way that I can defend them, that's what I'm going to do, And, I'm not going to say I'm a loudmouth, but if it gets down to it, and okay. I will. I'm too old to be fighting now, but I'm going to speak up. I'm going to speak up. And I'm just like that, especially with people who I hold dearly in my heart. You're just not going to disregard them in any kind of way, at least if I can help it. And I've always been
and
like that.
Michelle is also fun.
Yes,
I'm a fun person. I like let's get the party started.
Yes,
I've always been
She's
a
the
jokester
jokester
party.
too, right?
Yeah.
She's like, girl, I mean, and it's just, and she's witty. Yeah, I agree.
Wow. Okay, I get it. I see. Dolores also says she remembers when you and Lolita used to run them streets. Okay. Is she talking to you, Hope?
Yeah.
My wing woman.
Says,
That's my wing woman.
Look. And you cracking up
Lots
over there.
of
You
memories.
agreeing with that?
Yes, this was true. Me and Hope, we used to run the street pretty good. Yeah.
We were very adventurous.
Yes.
Okay, I mean that's a good thing. Now, did we get to? And I'm glad you guys shared about sharing. Did we get to those life events that your girls were there? We get to all of them, or did anybody want to share a life event?
Yeah, you know what? I'll share one more. We talked about this maybe last year or the year before last. We were in 5th grade. I believe it was the beginning of 5th grade. And like Gervais said, what we would do is we would go to each other's homes before school so that we could walk to school together. And there was this one of our classmates, her name was Paula.
Bishop.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say the last name, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, that's fine. And we went to knock on her door so that we could go to school. And it was the first day of school, I believe. And her mother answered the door and told us Paula was dead.
Yes, I remember that.
That was so traumatic.
Yes.
And how old? What age was this?
We were around 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we talk about
she
that?
Died at home too. I think she died at home too, Gwen.
Yeah, I think so too.
We were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
5th grade.
I don't remember that.
And I don't know.
I remember that.
I don't know if you remember the house on the corner from like kitty corner from my grandparents' house when the house caught on fire. Do you remember that? That house caught on fire. There were some kids that had that changed. That was really bad because we used to play with them. So that was something that I still to this day can still just see the house, my grandparents' house is not there anymore because I think that caught fire. So they knocked it down. I think it's a vacant lot there now. But yeah, I remember that. That was a life-changing event for me as a kid. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, because that would definitely be traumatic, especially that age. You know what I mean? Tony did say he said it was 7th grade when Paula passed.
He is incorrect. Washington
No,
School.
it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being at Washington School.
That was Washington, 6th grade.
Is Tony older?
No.
Tony is younger, but he made a double, so he thinks he's on our level.
Okay, Tony. They said no, you're incorrect. You're incorrect. It's a 5th grade Washington School. When you brought that up about Paula, and then also when you mentioned about the house burning down across the street from where you guys were, Gervais. It brought me back, and my sister and I were talking about this not too long ago when I experienced a young lady, I don't want to call her name out, who passed away when we were in, oh God, Gwen, what grade was I in?
We were at McKinley interim, so you were in 5th grade.
Okay. And it was devastating for me. It was hard for me to continue on after that. I'll just be honest, because I started thinking of, she was my age and she was here just yesterday and now she's not here today. So that was rough for me. As we look now, of course, and I'm grateful that we have, when situations happen like that, in the school systems, we have the therapists that will come in, those who come in and talk with the students, about what they are experiencing, because it's rough for children. It really is. So how was that? I mean, you talked a little bit about that. How did that affect each of you when she passed away, or when you found out and knowing that she passed away?
Heartbroken. It's like, wow, how you sometimes you wonder like why, and then how, and then it's like unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like, man, we're not gonna see her again, and it hurt. It hurt.
And then it was going to hurt anyway because we lost a classmate, but the way we found out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what's bad, the way that was found out.
Yeah.
And I think at that time you're young, you don't really understand, what death is all about.
Right.
At such a young age like that. So it kind of takes you by surprise, and you don't know how to process that at that young of an age.
I agree.
Wow. When you're nervous as to did it affect me that I blocked it out, because I just don't remember that.
You don't remember? She stayed on right. She
on Paulina.
Yeah, on Paulina.
So I would have been with you guys. I just
she lived off of Ashland. She lived off of Ashland. She lived right around the corner from me. She was on 150.
I thought it was Paulina. Because remember, it was kind of orangish house.
151st and Ashland.
It was on the corner, right?
It was on the corner. And she lived, her house was like really tall.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So she would have lived by your cousin, right? Gwen and Annette?
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking it was Paulina as opposed to Ashland. So anyway, the streets we were on Marshfield. And one was, Ashland was east of us and Paulina was just west of us.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been on the same block as Gregory. You're right, Carl.
Okay. I was going to say, we had one.
I must have blocked that out too, because I don't remember it. I do not remember.
I remember her face so clear as day. I remember her.
Yeah.
I can't.
She had pretty eyes. Remember her eyes?
Yeah,
pretty eyes. Yeah. Yep.
Must have blocked it out. Yeah.
And do you remember her? Do you want to say something about that?
Yes, I remember Paula.
Okay.
She had connected and she had a unibrow.
Yeah.
Paula.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
God rest
That's something else. Yeah, and you're just hoping that. I mean, obviously, like Carla said, maybe it affected her so that she blocked it out.
Yeah,
and that could happen. That could happen. And you too, Michelle. That could happen.
And I know I had to know her. But I just can't.
Sure.
I can't even remember the face or anything. That's
wow.
Sometimes that's what trauma does, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
it does. Really, a lot of times that's how people are able to deal with it, or that's their way, should I say, of dealing with it. Like it was when we lost Daryl. I blocked everything out so much to the point where my sisters, after years or whatever, do you remember this? Do you remember that? I'm like, nope. And then I started connecting it. And then I would say, was that before Daryl passed or after Daryl passed? Mm-hmm. That's how I was able to connect it and understand. I was literally blocking that out and didn't know that I was doing that. Mm-hmm. But that's how I was able to cope, with his death and with me being the youngest and being so young. It hit me in such a way that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act or react. So, and then how it happened, as well. Let's see. I'm recognizing some other individuals that have come in. I see you, Michelle Thomas, Kim Jones, Tammy Jackson. I don't know if I mentioned Brian. Did I mention Brian? Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. Janetta Franklin. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. But I just want to Oh, Gail Alexander. I don't know if I said you earlier or not, but thank you for coming in, joining with us on tonight. We're simply, again, if you guys are just now joining us or you're like, what are they talking about? We're, of course, are recognizing Women's History Month. And this is the last show of this month for Mind, Body, and Soul. And what a way to end it, to talk to a wonderful group of women who have been friends and sisters, as they say, for over 50 years and continuing on with that. I can't say enough how, really, honestly, I'm amazed. I am amazed because, people they don't have that. They don't continue on. They may have a falling out or what have you. Let's see, Gwen, Audra and I, since high school. So that doesn't even match up to the 50 plus years that you all have. And that's probably the longest one that I have, friendship. And I call her a sister as well. So as we are ending, because I don't want to keep you guys all night, as we're ending on tonight, I do want to see if I can hear from each of you to share with us maybe something that would be encouraging to those that are watching, whether it's in regards to friends, being sisters, and even you can encourage the women because it's Women's History Month. We can start, we'll leave Gwen for last since y'all said she talks a lot.
You did not say that.
Rosalind, can we start with you?
You're
There you go, pressing the wrong mute button. No, I have a tendency of always saying to everyone when I talk to them on the phone or something, I love you, I love you, I love you. Just never get tired of saying I love you, I love you, I love you, because I do, and 3 words, 3 words, and they mean a lot.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. I like that.
And I would like Carla to say, I have this gift. I would like to say that don't let your childhood bad memories affect you, because obviously I blocked out a lot of things because I had a very traumatic childhood. But don't let it affect you, and stay close to the higher being, because he knows all, he forgives us. And we just need to continue to be strong women, yes, in this crazy world that it is. I call it Babylon. Just stay strong and keep your faith.
Yes. Beautiful. All right. Okay. All right. Had a little interruption there. I don't know if y'all heard that music or not. Let's see. Gervais.
I would say don't sweat the small stuff. People, they take things out of context or whatever, and me personally, if I can't, it's like, hey, I'm here. I'm not going to judge anyone. Who am I to judge? And just and don't bring no envy into it and things like that. Just talk to your sister. If we're sisters, we're supposed to be able to talk to each other, even constructive criticism and all of that. We should be able to, and then, you say your opinion or whatever, and then just move on. Don't sweat the small stuff, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And I'm so glad that I do have you guys back in my life. And, it's going to always be that way. I'm always the one that keeps in my family. Girl, you keep in touch with everybody. Even people from high school, from Creek Monique, they'll call me and say, Gervais, who is so-and-so and so-and-so? I said, you don't remember when such and such did? I said, girl, you remember. And yes, and that's how I am. I keep in contact with everyone. I try to, at least I try to. So.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Come on, Tam.
I just want to say, just always, each one loves one. We all love each other. We just always should stick together. I love each and every one of you. And you've heard me say this, and you can't do anything about it. So I just, keep God first of all, and just always love on one another, because like Gervais said, tomorrow isn't promised. So, I'm always here. I'm one of the ones too. I kind of call around and I'll check on you and see what's going on, and if I haven't heard anything or whatever. So, and I'll continue to be that way. And that's just how it is. And I love each and every one of my girls. You know that. And also, I love to have a good time too. Like to have a good party. Yeah.
Okay, Hope.
Oh gosh. I think just to reinforce what everyone else has said, and just going back to the whole thing about unconditional love and not expecting something out of a friendship. Just having that someone to be there when you need them to be there, not to get something out of them or them to get something out of you. I think that's something that maybe it's missing with the younger generation. It's a different day where I think people feel like they have to get something out of a relationship. It can just be so organic and beautiful on its own, So I just want to say I love you to each and every one of my sisters. It's just being with them, growing up with them has shaped my life in a very positive and beautiful way. And I just love them dearly.
Beautiful. So sweet. Y'all gonna start crying? Everybody say something.
I know.
Michelle.
Wow. I used to be a crybaby. I've always been a fighter, but I actually walk with love.
Passionate.
I just love people in general. And, I think just from the beginning and me being a fighter, because, I care about people and I care about how others treat others. So I've always been, if everybody else is happy, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say to each and every one of these girls on this phone, and Ann is gone, but I'll let her know too. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm so glad that God has allowed me to meet just a tremendous array of women. We've all, have been dealing with life. And as I say, life be lifing. And it's been that close bond like we could have been. But you know what? Regardless, we still came back. And we like this. We're like glue. And if you need anything, I'm there for you. If I disappear, in which I'm not going to disappear, but don't charge it to my heart. Because, in my heart, I love each and every one of you guys. And I try my best to show that. And I'm just so thankful. I'm so, so thankful that we've almost reached that 60 point in our lives. And we can still sit here and say that each and every one of you guys gave me something in my life. To be able to say that, oh my God, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I want to have the rest of I don't know if I want to live to be 100, but I'll say, you guys to be there with me, to go on this ride and to ride this ride, be that old Golden Girls ladies, where one of us might be giving tissue to wipe the nose or with our canes, and it just would be so beautiful. It would just be so beautiful to share that with each and every one of you guys. And so I'm thankful, and I'll continue in my heart to thank God for you guys and for God to continue to bless each and every one of you guys.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful.
That's beautiful, Michelle.
Okay, since Ann has dropped out, we have Gwen last here. Gwen, before you say something, Troy says it's over 464 years on that, old people on that platform. But he did say what a blessing.
Would add them all up.
It's a blessing.
That's hilarious.
That's first time another version of tears. Now I'm laughing.
Maybe we needed to have that comment to break it up. But go ahead.
Advice that I would give others, first and foremost, is I think that it is wonderful to have the spirit of I am my sister's keeper. Mm-hmm. Especially, with everything that we're going through today and things being turned back, progress that we've seen, growing up that's being turned back today. I just think it's so important for us to be patient with each other as well. Count on me through thick and thin, a friendship that will never end. When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. Don't be afraid. Please believe me when I say, count on me. You all can count on me anytime. I love you, ladies. It's beautiful. And I just want to say this, Bridget Annette, these chicks look beautiful to be one step away from 60. Every single one of you look absolutely awesome. And I love you.
And you do.
Yes.
You do too.
As well, ma'am.
Well, Carla said you're the singer, you're the host, you're everything else. Yeah. But I just want to thank each of you for taking time out on tonight. I know you have busy schedules. You have family. You have a whole family, should I say? And so you're doing things. And I know some of you are retired, but again, you have a schedule that you threw me in, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you all willing to come and talk to us on tonight. You've encouraged a lot of people throughout the different platforms that we are live on. And I just want to thank you for that. I think it's so important to talk about this, to address this, and to highlight you guys. And I totally agree, Gwen. Everyone looks wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Gives me something to look forward to. Because I am younger than you guys, you know that, right? So I'm just being silly. I just want to throw that in there. But seriously, sisterhood, it's a bond that goes beyond family. It does. And even in the Word of God talks about how a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand, or more than one can stand together, and you can be able to conquer. Yes. And I believe that you all have been doing that down through the years. And I pray Godspeed that you will continue to be an example, even to others, and continue to allow God to bless and to use you. And I just want you all to continue to flourish.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Although, my platform don't know who Bridget is, but that's okay.
Her name is Bridget.
I didn't know who Annette was, so.
Right. We only know her by Bridget.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna cut that part out. But anyway, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, thank you all. I appreciate you all so much, and
thank you.
I don't take it lightly. I love y'all. Y'all are my big sisters, and you all just continue to be as beautiful and shining bright as you were doing already. All right.
I'm very proud of you.
Very proud.
Thank you.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
It's been enjoyable. Love you, ladies.
Love everyone.
Thank you, Troy.
Troy said you all are very beautiful.
Thanks, Troy.
Guys, as they're exiting off on tonight, again, I just thank each of you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, for joining us on this special night a special time to highlight individuals. I was telling my guest on yesterday, Women's History Month, throughout the entire month, I just kept saying, I'm so glad I'm a woman. I am so glad I'm a woman. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. And I'm just grateful that God has blessed us. Others that have joined us, you're going to have to be kind and rewind. I saw Barry Faulkner and Tara Smith Hughes have joined us. We appreciate you guys for hopping in and joining in, listening into this wonderful, wonderful session on tonight. It's a special session. And we're going to get out of here and we'll see you guys. I'm going to play our outro on tonight and we'll see you soon. It'll be another time for you to come on and get caught in a net.
Get caught in a net with ANet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with ANet. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to
One that was above.